I'm going to go to a quick business story here. Fed approves quarter-point interest rate cuts and sees 2 more coming this year. Rob, if you want to pull that up, I do know you have a clip on that. So page 18. Federal Reserve approves a quarter-point rate cut, lowering the benchmark overnight lending rate to a range of 4 to 4.25 with an 11-1 vote, where newly installed Governor Stephen Moran dissented, advocating for half a point cut. The Federal Open Market Committee signaled 2 more cuts before the end of the year, is indicated in their dot plot. Through 9 of 19 participants expected only 1 more reduction, while 10 saw 2 potentially at October and December meetings. Here's Jerome Powell. Go for it, Rob.
Good afternoon. My colleagues and I remain squarely focused on achieving our dual mandate goals of maximum employment and stable prices for the benefit of the American people. While the unemployment rate remains low, it has edged up. Job gains have slowed, and downside risks to employment have risen. At the same time, inflation has risen recently and remains somewhat elevated. In support of our goals, and in light of the shift in the balance of risks, today the Federal Open Market Committee decided to lower our policy interest rate by a 0.25 percentage point. We also decided to continue to reduce our securities holdings. I'll have more to say about monetary policy after briefly reviewing economic developments. Recent indicators suggest that growth of economic activity has moderated. GDP rose at a pace of around 1.5% in the first half of the year, down from 2.5% last year. The moderation in growth largely reflects a slowdown in consumer spending. In contrast, business investment in equipment and intangibles has picked up from last year's pace. Activity in the housing sector remains weak. In our summary of economic projections, the median participant projects GDP to rise 1.6% this year and 1.8% next year, a touch stronger than projected in June.
Okay, pause right there. Tom, thoughts?
Well, first of all, this is what we wanted to have happen for a couple of reasons. And there's a balance here. First of all, the good side. The good side is we just made debt for businesses a little less expensive. But more importantly, we made our debt, the national debt, less expensive because we pay interest on it based on this. So that's significant. And that's really what Trump's been pushing about, because Trump's budget includes payments on the national debt. And there's interest on that, Vinny. That's what we have to pay, right? We have all this debt. We have all this interest. Well, we got to pay somebody. And it's all the people that own that debt. Japan owns a bunch of debt. China owns debt. All of those get the interest rate. When the interest rate's lower, it costs us less to pay on our debt. Now, our debt we should be working to pay that off someday. But that's point one. Point two is he said business investment was ticking up. And so a 0.25 point benefit in cost of lending to businesses helps them, because when business ticks up and the investment ticks up, job growth usually follows. And right now, job growth is sluggish. It is real. The job market is cooling a little bit. And that's also a reason to drop the rate, so that businesses can invest and hopefully you get the jobs back. Now, there's a trickle-down effect where the bond market gets affected by this, and the bond market is what helps determine mortgage rates. And right now, mortgage rates were like 6 3/8. They went down a little bit, and now they've ticked back up to like 6.5. So for all of us, if you have a job and you like that job, keep that job. If you're looking around for a job, maybe be less picky and maybe be more flexible for yourself. And if you're running a small business, you should check your line of credit and check things, because you might be able to get a little less expensive debt and the U.S. budget's going to benefit. And then, Rob, do you have that? I've got the thing on the CME. And real quick, when they talk about what's coming, this is now, we've reached the realm of basically near certainty. Yeah, scroll right down there and click on October. It's like a 91% chance we're getting another cut in October. And these guys are economists, are like, right, and then go to December 10th, right next to it, the little white box. Up, higher, left. Up, higher, left. There you go. And December, 82%. So it's about a 0.25% in October, 0.25% in December. And so we want the job market to pick up a little bit because it's cooling. And
by the way, I looked at the last few times we lowered rates, okay? September 2025, 0.25 point. Previous, December 2024, 0.25. November 2024, 0.25. September 2024, half. Previous to that, there was no rate cuts till March of 2020. So in the last 12
Middle of
months,
COVID.
there's been exactly 4 rate cuts. Roughly 1.25 is what they've done. So we'll see what this is going to do. Finally, is there 2 more going into the end of the year? There's a couple moves that happen. Intel and Nvidia. Nvidia announced that they're going to be investing $5 billion into stake of Intel, joining the U.S. government as a major shareholder. This caused Intel to surge 18% after the money was put into it. I'm a little bit more comfortable with this happening of a company investing into another company than the government investing into another company. Rob, what is this clip here?
This is just from Reuters covering the Intel and Nvidia deal.
Go for it.
Nvidia is to invest $5 billion in Intel, throwing its heft behind the struggling US chip maker. It comes just weeks after the White House engineered an extraordinary deal for the US government to take a massive stake in the company. The deal will make Nvidia one of Intel's largest shareholders, giving it roughly 4% or more of the company after new shares are issued to complete the deal. Nvidia's support represents a new opening for Intel after years of turnaround efforts. It also triggered a 24% jump in the chipmaker's shares in pre-market action.
Pause it
The
right
company
there.
appointed new...
Rob, can you also look up what Larry Ellison's net worth is right now? Can you pull that up while this is going on? When Rob's pulling that up, I think his number right now all of a sudden went from a couple $100 billion to $450 billion. Now it's at $362 billion. Wow. And Elon's at 480. For a minute, for a day, he was ahead of Elon. Wow. And Elon is now at 480. I think Elon put $1 billion of bought more Tesla shares. That caused the stock to go up. And you're seeing some of the stuff that's happening. Tom, your thoughts here with, I don't like the word that she used, but I want you to clarify it. She said the struggling chip maker. Nvidia put $5 billion in the struggling chip maker Intel. Thoughts?
Yeah, Intel's had some market share issues, and it's had some slowdowns in certain sectors, and it missed the boat. It's one of the premier chip makers in the world, but who's building all the AI chips? It's got the big market share, Nvidia. And so, but what Intel has is a lot of manufacturing capability. You were seeing that B-roll there, a lot of it. I like the fact. You know what this reminds me of, Pat? This is something you and I both know about. Is when Microsoft helped Apple.
Yep.
And reached across the industry to a competitor to help them. And Microsoft felt that Apple and its computers and what it was doing primarily for ad agencies and creatives at that time was important, and they did it. And the Apple people was like, we're taking money from Satan, because they hated Bill Gates and Microsoft. But in the end, it helped everyone. And I'm hoping that this is what Jensen Huang is thinking about. What I also hope is that the U.S. government backs off. I don't want and don't like the U.S. government owning part of any company, because that means laws in Washington, things that are happening in Washington, anything that's going on in Washington, that scares me to death. Because I don't want Washington to have a vested interest. Oh, do we make this regulation? Yeah. Do we make this law? Hang on. We own 5% of that one. Maybe go easy on it. Yeah. I mean, we've been screaming about Nancy Pelosi and her Nancy Pelosi's magic stock fund that's genius. It's not genius. It's based on regulation. So I don't like that part. But I like that someone is reaching across the aisle. Hey, you're making chips for servers. You're making chips for laptops. You're making chips for desktop PCs. We make all these AI chips. You know what? I'm going to invest in you, and I'm going to help reach across. I think that's a good thing, and I'm hoping, I'd like to see, Pat, the U.S. government not do the deal it's talking about. I'd like to leave it in the market between Nvidia and Intel.
Adam.
Well, follow the money. I think that's what we're saying regarding interest rates. If I could just, so the interest rates, looks like Trump is sort of getting his way with Jerome Powell. We'll see if he fires him. I know he's been talking a lot about that. But I remember the first time that I heard about BIPs. You know about BIPs, Vinny?
No.
Okay, let me bip you up
Go
right
ahead.
quick. So I used to go around when I first got into insurance and finance, and I was like pretending, fake it till you make it. I was like, yeah, the BIPs, bro. You got the 25 BIPs. They go, do you know what a BIP is? I was like, yeah, it's the BIP. They go, it stands for basis points. I was like, yeah, I knew that. I didn't know that. But we just cut it 25 bips, which is 0.25. So they're talking about maybe by the end of the year getting it down to 75 or 100 bips, basis points. Let me explain this to you, Vinny. It'd be the equivalent of this: 25 basis points. Yo, it's the morning. You know what? Give me a little shot of espresso. Wake me up a little bit. All right, cool. I'm ready to tackle the day. Little energy boost. Great. That's what just happened in the economy. You throw 100 bips in the next 3-6 months, bro, that's like chugging 3 Red Bulls, a Celsius, shot of tequila. It's like, let's go time, baby. You have the risk of
Adam, you
overheating. I had
He had a bip. He
I
had
had
a couple
100
bips.
bips this morning, PBD.
Bipped in the Uber.
But here's my point.
More like a
Pat,
Kennep.
you've talked about multiple times. Actually, don't want them to cut the rates too much. Don't cut it too much. Right now, the current bips, the current
It's too much
Fed
too
fund
quick.
rate.
Too
Exactly.
much too quick. Yeah.
Is that what's happening, you think?
Well, he hasn't done it yet.
Not yet. Okay.
But if they do this, the current Fed fund rate is basically 4.25% right now. Do you know the historical average is basically where we're at right now, between 4 and 5%? Little food for thought here. In the last 15, 20 years, it's been 0% twice. Free money. Take the money. Forever you get a car, Oprah. It was right after the Great Recession, 2008, and right during COVID in 2020. 0. When we were born, in the early 80s, let's say, late 70s for some of you, do you know what the Fed fund rate was at that point? 19%.
Jeez.
Those are credit card rates
Yeah.
that you're using
Yeah,
for a
20%.
mortgage, for a car, like insane. So right now, I think as much as Trump is like laying the pressure in on Jerome Powell, I think we're in a good spot.
Yeah.
He said there's a dual mandate, inflation and unemployment and keeping people employed. We're at a decent time right now. Let's not screw this up by taking more shots of tequila and Red Bull.
I bought 2 houses yesterday, so I'm,
Yeah.
So did strippers in 2008.
So, rates to Nvidia. Now we have to put the clips together because Adam doesn't understand separating the 2 clips. But I appreciate that, Adam. So,
Well, we were
guys,
talking
going back to it. So with Rob, you're gonna have to find a way to make that one work. But Adam's
Surgeon.
very helpful. But you're right about the interest rates. When you lower the interest rates too much, what ends up happening is it helps guys like me out. My concern is we not right now need the other guys to catch up, and it's too much of a gap that we can go. Lowering is good, but too much too quick. Again, serves me well. It doesn't affect me at all, but it hurts some of the other guys
Why
that are
doesn't it
trying to
affect
buy a
you?
house. It's just going to help me out more. Money's
me-
going to be
I wanna
cheaper for me.
understand why.
If money's cheaper, I can go get a few $100 million, go buy up a bunch of companies. If money's cheaper, there's a bunch of things I can do. I mean, the market's about to find out what we're going to do the next 12, 24, 36 months. But, it's a different game to be played.
Who does this hurt, you think?
If the rates go lower, then if I'm selling my house at $1 million, now I'm going to sell it for $1.1 million. Now the person that's trying to get the money, he can't qualify for $1.1 million. And, that's a bigger price. But we'll see. We'll see what's going to happen here. Vinny's been working on something for the last 6 months, a shirt that he's excited about. Truly, he's excited about. And I want Vinny to tell you about the shirt here. Go for it.
thanks, Pat. So guys, like Pat said, I've been trying to work on this shirt for almost a year, Pat, if I'm going to really break it down. And we, traveling, Italy, this, that, never got back to it. But now I think this is the best time, especially with the battle and everything that we're going through right now. I'm calling it like the faith-based line. It's a faith over fear shirt. I have the cross in the front, boom, in the front to let everybody know where you're at. And then I have this on the back. Faith over fear, and the Hebrews 11:1. Adam, you like this?
Thank you,
His
buddy.
faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see. Everybody knows this. Jesus Christ was born
Amen.
over 2,000 years ago. None of us have seen him. Nobody's talked to him, but guess what? We believe. Okay, that's a faith. And the greatest story of faith I've ever heard, Tom told me, it was a centurion Roman soldier, and he saw Jesus, and he went up to Jesus, and he said, Jesus, my young servant is at the house, and he's paralyzed, and he's in immense suffering. And Jesus goes, shall I come and heal him? And the centurion, by the way, a Gentile, looks at him and says, Lord, I do not deserve to have you under my roof, but just say the word and you shall be healed. Think about that, Pat. So Jesus turns to his disciples and he goes, I have not found anyone in Israel with such faith. And he says to the centurion, he goes, go and let it be done just as you believe it would. Okay, and the servant was healed. That is faith, guys. So, and if you have faith and you are a Christian, you have nothing to fear. In the Bible, the command of do not fear, do not be afraid is said 365 times in a different variation, okay? And that's one for every single day. So if you have faith, Guys, if you have faith in God and Jesus Christ, you have nothing to fear. Nothing to fear. And that's what motivated me. And I made this shirt. Boom, it's on the website, Pat. We have black, there's white, there's maroon, and there's different variations, Robbie. If you can, the shirt, boom, faith
Oh,
over
that's
fear.
sick.
No, it's ridiculous, bro.
Look at
then,
the white one.
And by the way, you know, like I wear my cross, guys?
Yeah.
When you wear this shirt, you don't need jewelry because that lets everybody in front of you know. And then when I leave,
Respect.
boom.
Gang,
Boom.
go support it.
Love it.
Vinny's merch, Faith Over Fear. White, black, gray, red, pick and choose. It's out there for you to order. VTmerch.com. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.